Hello, my lovely friends. How are you doing today? How is business and the weather? Thank you for being here. Today, we are going to be making this very beautiful patched up gown, and I'll be using these two fabrics for it. So, quickly, we'll get started, and I'll try my possible best to cut this on the table. Okay, so quickly we'll start with the bodice, which is a princess bustier. For the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time today, I'm going to be repeating the princess bustier. So I've neatly arranged it and made some markings. First, I folded using my shoulder measurement, which is 8.5, which is at this point, okay? And then I measured my shoulder to bust, which is 13 inches, okay? My under bust is 3.5 inches below my shoulder to bust. That is what you have here. And my upper bust, 3.5 inches as well. That is what you have here. Okay. So the next one is my half length. This is my half length. And this is half an inch I will use to join the lower parts to the bodice. I hope it's clear enough. Let me repeat again. This is my shoulder to bust. This is my upper bust, 3.5 inches. This is my under bust, 3.5 inches as well. This is my half length, okay? And then the last line is half an inch for joining at the lower part. Now the next will be to measure my bust span, which is 4 inches. I will use half an inch for sewing, so I'll measure 4.5 inches. If your sewing allowance is 1/4 inch, you use 4.25. Okay. In fact, I'm going to be using 4.25 because my sewing allowance is always 4.25. Okay, so I mark 4.25 here. I'll mark it at the upper bust as well, and also at the under bust, all the way down to the waist line. Okay, so I will connect it to this point right away. So having joined them here, I will now use a slight curve from here. At this shoulder, I came down by 4 inches, okay? That's the marking you have here. So I'll slightly curve from here to my upper bust. Just a slight curve, all right? I also came down by 1 inch, that is my shoulder slope, okay? And then here 3 inches also for shoulder slope. You are to connect this way, okay? Now my neck width, I also included, it is 4 inches. Neck depth is 5 inches. Okay, so I'll cut this one out now, and particularly notch the under bust, upper bust, and shoulder to bust. And with this now, we'll cut the two sides. This is for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time today. So for the two sides, this is unfold, okay? I'll place the center front this way, making sure I have up to 3 inches at this other side, okay? And then when you do that, you take your tracing. First, you mark the notch points. And then you trace out the shape of the center front. Okay. And then measure your armhole of 8 inches. Like I always say, this is subject to change. Okay. So with this done now, I'll place my body measurement, my bust and my waist. Bust is 45 into 4 is 11 and quarter. 11 and quarter. Okay. I'll just use 1 inch sewing allowance. The reason is because of the bulge that will come out here, which is not part of the measurement. Okay, so we have more than enough sewing allowance here. Then at the waist, 40 inches into 4 is 10. At this point, you must add your sewing allowance. I'll use 2 inches. Please, I hope you are seeing this chalk. I don't know why it's not coming out well. Okay, so now I'm taking this off. At the center notch, I have 3 notches here. 1, 2, 3. This is upper bust, under bust, and shoulder to bust. So at the center notch, which is the shoulder to bust, I'll measure 2.5 inches. Okay. At this point, you can use 2 inches. So you can use 2.25. It depends on the person's bust measurement. Mine is up to 40. It's 45 actually. So 2.5 is perfect. Okay, so I'll connect from here to the under bust, from here down to this tip of the armhole. Okay. You make sure there are no sharp ends. Okay, so with this now we can cut. All right, so our front is ready. We'll quickly go to the back. I'll just be using normal princess dart for it. So I cut this using the bust measurement, which is the biggest measurement of my bodies or upper patch. Okay, I have a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. Meanwhile, it's on fold. I'm cutting both the two backs together. Okay, so I'll place my shoulder measurement. This is 3 inches for shoulder slip. Here 1 inch also for shoulder slip. And meanwhile, this is my half length and sewing allowance inclusive. Okay, my armhole is 8 inches. Okay, this is my shoulder to bust. Okay, this is my half length, this is my sewing allowance. All right, and I have here this line, which is my bust span, that is bust to bust measurement. Okay, I used 4.5 inches for this back. All right, so all I'll need to do is connect like this. Okay, sometimes I use the midpoint of my armhole to connect. Sometimes I use something higher than the midpoint. What I mean is, I normally use either half or 2/3, okay, of my midpoint. This way. Sometimes I can connect from here, sometimes I can connect from here. Okay, so you are connecting to come and meet this one, this shoulder to bust. And that's just it. Okay, neck width for the front was think 4 inches or 5. I'll go and check it. The neck width for the back, I will use 2 inches. Oh yeah, it was 4 inches, which is here. Okay. All right. I will then place my bust and waist measurement. Bust is 11.5. 11 points. Sewing allowance of 2 inches. Waist is 10. Sewing allowance of 2 inches. Sorry, I don't seem to understand this chalk. Okay. So for the armhole from the midpoint, I'll connect, or I can choose to use my curve. Okay. Now, because this is a princess dart, if I cut this armhole this way now, by the time I'm joining here, it will shorten here. So always remember to add 1 more inch to the armhole at this point. Sorry, I don't understand this chalk. I'm using all my effort to mark it, yet it's not showing. Okay, so you now have a new armhole. Okay, look at it first so that you and then we continue again. I hope you see the difference. Okay, so we'll now go to the lower side. So quickly for the lower part, I folded this way. I'll fold again this way. Okay, making it into 4 fold. The radius of my waist is 6.4. So I quickly measure 6.4 round here. I'm using 6.5, please. Then the length. From that picture, you see there are 3 segments, okay? My full length is 25 inches, so I divided 25 inches by 3, okay? For this one, I'll use 9.5 inches. If you divide the 25 by 3, it will give you 15. Sorry, it will give you 8.3, please, okay? 8.3, so I'll measure 9.5. The other one will be for the sewing allowance and fold. So I'll measure 9.5 round, and then I'll cut. So next will be to remove about 5 inches from the lower part. You know, this is a 360 circle, so I'll have to shorten it by taking away 5 inches. Okay, so I'm connecting it to the tip here, to the waistline, this way. Okay, all right, so now we have it like this, and each end is cut. Okay, so I'm going to bring the star as well and cut the second one. Okay, So for the second layer, I thought I could do it on the table, but it wasn't possible. It's still the same measurement, the same 9.5. Okay. I hope you see I extended this point. I hope you can see the chalk. I extended it this way. I just put my ruler, extended it, put my ruler, extended it, then I measured 9.5 inches. I also traced the end of this one because you know this is going to be attached to this one. Okay, so this is it. So when cutting now, I will cut with 1/2 inch to enable me use that 1/2 inch to attach this one to this one. Okay. Okay, so I will now cut this one out. Alright, so I have them cut here. This is the two. There are two. Okay, I'll use this one also to cut the last one, and I'll do it on the floor as well, and then come back to explain to you how I cut it. Okay, because the last one is going to be quite difficult, okay, because of the length of our Ankara. So when I'm done, I will explain to you how I cut it. Meanwhile, this star is 2 yards. This back of fish is 3 yards. Altogether 5 yards. So I cut it, but now it has to be pieces. Of course, you know it will be impossible to get it done because the lower you go, the wider it becomes. Okay. Now, instead of this to be this way, I cut it this way. Okay. Like this. I hope you get it. So it's this way. So I'll now have to join these two together to make one. I hope you understand it. So this is the second one. That is, it is now 4. Okay? You know this is 2, but this is 4, so that the width can be contained properly. So what I will do will be now to go to the machine and close one end. Okay? I will close one end here, do the same on the other one, and then I will join them together. Okay, I will join this one here. Okay, and then the first one I'm going to join it here. Okay, then I will cut the lining proper. It's going to have just one lining. All right, so and then for the upper part I'll cut the wooden and the lining. Okay, so I've done the attachment first of all. I hope you see it. Okay, there was no mathematics there. Okay, but when I finished, I had to trim off the sides to make sure it's not too wide. Okay, I trimmed this place because I wouldn't want it too wide, even at the lower part. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut the lining for this one, our normal lining, and line properly starting from the lower part. I will sew here, then push it up and close at the two sides. So for this, I'm going to be cutting the lining the way it appears here. Okay, so when I'm done cutting the lining, I'm going to be joining fabric to fabric this way. I will sew like this, then lining to lining before I now use the lining that I already joined to now line this one. The same thing for the front. So I've lined the lower part. Okay, this is the back, the sleeve, and then the upper part. I'm yet to line this because I want to put a tie at the neck area. Okay. With the length of about 8 inches. And then at the upper part, about 1 inch. Lower part 2 inches. So this is just for the okay, I think I'll need to reduce it because I want it slimmer. Okay, so this is okay. I'm going to cut another one which will be shorter than this. Okay, so I'll cut another one that will be about 6 inches. So these are the two. Okay, I'll use this to line it, but before then I'll put an interlining. I will sew this way, the lower part, then I'll turn it from here before I now attach it at the neckline, then line properly. So this way now I will attach it here at the neck, then I'll do the normal lining. I hope you get that. I will attach this first, then I'll line properly. Alright, so I've done the lining. I hope you see the way it is sitting. Okay, you can see the bustier well shaped. Okay, so next we'll do to join them at the two sides. We're almost done. I'll join at the two sides. Attach the sleeve. This is just a basic sleeve. Okay, attach the sleeve and also attach the lower one, and then insert my zip, and that will be all. Alright people, so check me out. This is the end of our tutorial. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching till the end. I really appreciate your time on my channel. And if you are new, please subscribe before leaving, and also don't forget the notification bell. Okay, that bell beside the subscribe button, so that once I upload you get notified. Thank you for stopping by once again. I appreciate all of you, and please leave your comments in the comment section. Okay, and if this video has been helpful to you in any way, please give us your thumbs up, and don't forget to share our videos. Till we meet in my next tutorial, take very good care of yourself and don't let anyone pull you down. Be happy always and keep being nice. Bye.